Welcome back to another episode of Liv's Thoughts. Today we have a super special one because we have a requested video. This is something I didn't know a ton about, the power of introspection. So give it up. Thank you for the suggestion. Today we're going to be going over kind of what introspection is, how to become more introspective, why it's helpful for us, yada yada, so on. So the Google definition was the examination or observation of one's own mental and emotional processes. So being self-aware, that's how I'm going to put being introspective. Knowing exactly how you're going to react to a situation, knowing how your brain handles certain situations, knowing how to cope with those certain situations, and learning how to manage triggers and that's my kind of definition of it and kind of how I view introspection. So basically, ways that it can be helpful. I watched a video. I watched a few videos on YouTube, and I watched this one reel. I'll link it in the description. Everything I read / watched, I'll link in the description. But this video that I watched, it said introspection is like mining for your own uniqueness, and I was like, dang, it's kind of fun to think about because I feel like for me, I've always slightly wanted to fit in, but also I've always wanted to be different. I don't know. I've never wanted to look like basic, I guess, if that makes sense. I've always been dyeing my hair. I cut my hair, I'd buzz my head. I don't know. I just never wanted to look quote unquote normal. And like I feel like us as individuals, everyone kind of has I'll call it a superpower and something that you're just naturally gifted with, naturally really good at. And when you become self-aware and really figure that part out of you, I think that that's what makes you unique. Being passionate about something and knowing you're good at something and having confidence in that one thing, I think is makes someone very, very unique. Because we all like different things, we all process things differently. So, yeah. If you cannot discover one's uniqueness, you will never discover yourself. So, you never will truly know yourself if you are not self aware. Why is being self aware and introspective important? Well, number one, it helps you stop projecting all of your own personal feelings onto other people. It stops negative cycles and patterns. It helps you stop projecting. That's one of the things. But just kind of self-wise, it gives you some more self-compassion. You forgive yourself for a lot of the things that you have done in the past and the way you've acted. You realize a lot of things that have happened in your childhood, and when you realize that those things are not your fault, and some of us grew up with kind of a weird dynamic with parents and siblings and just the way we were raised, and kind of uncovering that as you grow up and almost getting rid of shame. And I think I watched a video and it was self-compromise is the cure to shame. That's how you get rid of shame, is being kind to yourself and compassionate towards why you do the things you do. Greater ability to comfort fears. It's not as hard to realize that things aren't as scary as they seem in our head when you become more self-aware. You become able to handle the emotions of being nervous and almost finding enjoyment in conquering something that you're scared of. One thing that I personally realized since becoming a lot more self-aware was I'm very obsessed with learning how my brain works, because especially with having BPD, I've always wanted to know where it came from. And the more that I'm in therapy and the more I journal and that sort of thing, the more that I get to the answer I'm looking for, because I'm kind of there. I think I figured out what it was that kind of triggered this in me. But personal experience wise, I've just noticed I'm very obsessed with learning how my brain works. And I feel like you become obsessed almost at being better and changing yourself and that self-improvement sort of mindset, I guess. Not in a negative way though. I feel like it's very positive. And the kinder you are with yourself and the happier you are with yourself, the more that projects onto other people in good ways, and you want to help people and you want to care for people and make sure your friends are happy and your family's happy, that sort of thing. A few other things that I have found with being more self-aware is I feel like I connect with certain people on a very deep level. And I feel like I've just found other people that are self-aware, and you can kind of have more, not more, I don't want to see more meaningful conversations, but your conversations aren't as surface level. And when I say that, it's like talking about not so much, what's a good word for it, like artificial problems, but like you're not so much talking about like friend drama and shit like that. Like you're talking about like deep things. That's sort of bad. I don't know. But personal experience wise, that's just kind of what I noticed since becoming a lot more self aware. Number one, the easiest, cheapest thing to do, journaling. Let me show you mine right now. I'm using like a full on just Target brand journal because I lost the privilege to get a nice journal. I left my brand new $45 journal on the plane ride home from Alabama. It had some very personal things in there. Someone has that. Luckily, I didn't put my name in it. No one like fully knows the shit that I was saying. But that was really, actually, really embarrassing. So I made myself keep this. I'm not buying another $35 journal until I can prove I can fill out this one first. Okay, for journaling, you can literally look up prompts on the internet. It's so easy to do and so easy to kind of like really get into yourself. To be honest with you, I think the best beginner one is to write a letter to your younger self and kind of just like saying that you're proud of them, and like it kind of makes you dig in deeper to like, oh, it's not your fault and I'm sorry for you. It made me very emotional when I did it. So I don't know. I just highly recommend journaling, basic everyday thing. And also, I think affirmations to write in your journal every day are super helpful. You can track your dreams too, which I think is super cool. I've been writing affirmations in my journal for over a year now, like every day. And every time I write something down that I want to happen, it comes true. And it's really awesome and it's really fun. Number two, and I think that for a lot of people, and I'm not saying everyone needs therapy and like needs to go to therapy. It's definitely not like, it's not for everyone. I understand that, but I don't think there's harm in trying. I've been in therapy personally for 10 years. Nope, 11 years. I started when I was 10. So I feel very blessed to have the knowledge I do now of mental health. I love learning about mental health and I love learning about my brain and that sort of thing. So I feel very blessed to have gone to therapy for so long. But I understand it's expensive. I understand some people don't have insurance and like don't have it in their area. Totally understand. But with therapy, I think it can help people become more introspective with themselves, because therapists really, it's their job to make you dig deeper and like find out the core root of like what's wrong, how do we fix it, how do we cope with our triggers, that sort of thing. I just think that therapy can be a really useful tool for becoming introspective if you need the guidance to do so. Like if you need a hand to hold while you're doing it, therapy is, in my opinion, very great. Another thing we can do to kind of how to do it, asking more meaningful questions to yourself. And what I mean by that is like when you're upset or when you're frustrated, angry, ask yourself, is what I'm angry about logical to be angry about? And can I like fully be mad about this? And if the answer is it's small, it's not that deep, tell yourself, I'm so serious. Tell yourself it's not that deep if something is like very surface level, making you upset. The more meaningful questions you ask, you kind of like see a pattern with yourself, with the way you act. And I think that can be, when you see the pattern of things happening, that can be really, really helpful for fixing the issue. Okay, these ones I'm going to put all into one, to be honest with you, because they all kind of correlate. Seeking feedback, personal development, alignment, improving relationships, resilience, and well being. So, seeking feedback, wanting to know how you act, like asking for people's perception of you because you're interested in the way you are perceived. Personal development, making sure that you are trying to get better, improving your health, improving like the basic everyday things for yourself, organization, cleanliness, like that sort of thing, just making yourself better. Alignment, making your soul and like your kind of spiritual side and like that sort of thing, and kind of just learning gratitude. I think that that helps you become a lot more aligned with just who you are as a person and like your selfness. Improve relationships. Get out of situations that you can, like, that is not good for you. If it's raising your cortisol levels every single day, maybe leave. Like, that, maybe that's not great for you. If you're in a toxic relationship, work on leaving. If it's a situation you cannot leave right now and like it's hard for you to step away, go for a walk. Make sure you have like one time by yourself every day and like just kind of space for yourself on the daily, at least once a day for like 15 to 30 minutes. Whatever you can get, try to find a space where you can be alone for a little bit and just sit with yourself. Resilience and well-being, I kind of think blend into the personal development just a little bit more as well, because resilience is like just being strong through like anything you can go through. Personally, I remind myself, I talked about this in another video, but things could always be worse. Like, genuinely, someone does have it worse than you, and be grateful for that. Like use that as an advantage for you to get through things and your overall well-being, not being sick, being healthy, focusing on your health, eating good food. In America, we have a very our the way that we are so like the way that we so easily consume literal chemicals on the daily, and we don't really have a way to get around that. For most people don't have a way to get around that, because even like our fruits and vegetables have that shit in it. And so if you're not buying like locally, it's just kind of like there are a lot of pesticides, and it's just like our food system is gross here, and like genuinely we need work. So just trying to eat as clean as you can, as much as you can, and as much as you can afford. So living a better life because of being introspective. I said this before. I think it makes you a better person for more people. And I think you are able to connect with people better when you know yourself better, because you can stand on that. You have more boundaries. You feel like more open with sharing about yourself and sharing about your experiences. So I think just learning how to know yourself, and again, mining for your own uniqueness. I think that's such a good way to say it. Find what's like weird about you, you know? Lean into that. What do you actually like to do? If you don't have hobbies, work on finding a hobby. Try things. Don't be scared to be bad at something. You're going to be a beginner no matter what. Like, at some point in your life, you're going to have to be a beginner again at something. So learn to not be afraid of being a beginner. I think it's super cool to learn something new, and then you have a new skill underneath your belt. And my best friend told me that even if you fail at something, you can always put it in your tool belt for later. And I think that's actually true, because you'll have like a little bit of knowledge on a skill that we're all going to learn to be more introspective on this channel. The better we are for ourselves, the better we are for humanity. And if everyone could become a little bit more self-aware and realize that not everything is about them, but if we could all just learn how to be a little bit more introspective, maybe our world would be sick and fun and just like fun and cool. But one can only hope. If you didn't like this style of video, or like didn't like the longer whatever, please actually let me know in the comments. If you like this, please let me know also, because I did put a lot of work into this, and I did do like a decent amount of research on it. So if people don't like it, I would rather know than keep making them, and I can kind of just talk improvively. It's not a word. More on the improv vibe. All right, peace out. Love you all. Thank you for 300 subscribers. Love you guys. All right, have a good day. Bye.